But I'm afraid, to both of you, there clearly has been quite the mistake, because my heart is already held by another. And the seven have already
Tell
seen
me.
us.
Yes, tell me. I can do it better than she can. My father will have her head for this dishonor. Who is she? Lanus dear, who is she?
I'm afraid no such thing will happen. For you see, the seven have already brought the two of us together.
One of them begins, tears running down her cheeks. She opens her mouth, moving her hand sort of to almost hold her before. Who? Someone from the city, right? Who?
That whom that it is not the important bit.
Is she a commoner?
She is no commoner, I will assure you. For I would not even think of trading a commoner for the two lovely ladies who clearly both care greatly, and I am sorry that I have hurt.
Then what are you going to do about this?
Looks back and forth to the two of them.
They look at you.
Well, I'm afraid, as I said before, I do not know exactly of the event you're speaking of. But regardless, before we should handle any details like that, the two of you first. Really, we can't let all the other nobles in Highgarden see you. What would they say if they saw you like this, dressed like ripped dresses? You'd be your own scandals.
But what about our love? What will you do about that, my lord?
I'm afraid it would be a crime against the seven if I was to try and go forth and continue forth with either of this.
So you're ending it now? The peak of passion? One of them says, growing very pale, the other one growing very red-faced.
Does that mean she is a peak, or is it about the peak of passion?
I think
because that's low, man.
I think it's like
if she's a peak, that's an odd situation.
Yeah, very.
I'm afraid whatever has happened is over. I'm sorry.
The pale one falls to the ground, her hand on her forehead.
Fuck.
The other one looks down at her, looks angrily at you, and says, "You have dishonored me, sir, and I will not have it." And says, "I will have you before." And then she storms out, smacking and slamming the door, while the other one just lays there, unconscious on your floor.
Please say she's alive. Please.
I mean, presumably she hasn't died of heartbreak.
You know, just get us.
Worse things have happened.
That she fainted.
All right.
From the shock of this situation.
Worse things have happened.
I will there's like a bell, right? I will summon a servant to help get her moved to wherever she's supposed to be.
The servant will look at you very distraught as you have this woman in a torn dress and with a hand slip mark on her cheek. And she will carry her out, not saying anything, but clearly judging you. It would seem now that you'll be late for the morning meeting with Decim and the others.
Not for my planning.
The rest of you have probably already gathered. at the little table here, so you can sort of go to the trial together. You'll know that the defendant, whom you'll have to decide amongst you, will present the witness that's going to be there today, basically, giving name and titles. And yeah. But as it turns out, Lannis is not here yet. Breach probably here too.
Well, who wants to be first?
It's like
It's
you
our
can
cousin
hear
as a
the
child.
crickets.
It
Me?
would not make
Oh.
sense. Well, it wouldn't make sense if it was Nemo. Then what do you want?
I mean, yeah, you could throw me under the bus first. I'm not gonna hold up for long.
What's a bus?
It's
I'm
one of
kidding.
those really large carriages. Very
I do
multiple.
think it makes sense to go with either Bree or Alaric first. Alaric to sort of establish the honor of the house, etc. Or Bree to sort of start on the offensive a lot by going into the horrific stories of her background and things like that. Either of those would work. I think Alaric would go honor of the house and then like go into the war aspect of it probably, and Bree would be more of a sort of a hands-on approach,
I think
telling of the villainy of the.
I have to begin by intimidating the judges.
my
Can we
question-
manipulate you?
I
With the
believe
crowd?
Alaric has to begin by seducing the judges.
I have to
Yeah.
begin by seducing. Yeah,
Well, hello. You know this.
you look lovely.
Everyone looks
Today.
fetching today.
Well, Lord
Yeah.
Peach. I have heard of it. That's a
That armor
Nima
looks
share
great.
for gossip and knowledge. Or something.
Sure. It wasn't.
She doesn't have to. Maybe she would like to surprise them about this. It's only you who use the things anyway.
True. Well, Nemo will hint that she has something she can say to make Peak shut up
Okay.
in case it's needed.
Well, that's probably going to be useful.
Imagine Lannis would come here, now late, probably also a little flustered. What does he
His
look like
composure
when he enters the room?
Now dressed in his his normal noble wares, he is a little bit on edge, quite clearly, a little bit flustered. His face very slightly red. His hair, he's trying to put back into place. And clearly a little bit nervous. Actually, very nervous as he's approaching.
Decim looks at him. What's wrong?
I got interrupted this morning, I'm afraid.
Well, you are late.
Unfortunately, I believe Sir Alaric has been too much of an influence.
I really
so?
hope not.
Looks over to Sir Alaric, genuinely a little bit curious for a second. Well, to my behest, I had two noble ladies show up at my door this morning. I'm not entirely sure what happened. But in the end, one ended up getting collapsed and brought away, and the other one was exceptionally angry.
I see.
I wish I could tell you more, Uncle, but
And who were these ladies, more precisely?
did they have any identifying?
They seem to
Things?
be ladies at the court. Not really identifiable house signals, although most ladies here wouldn't really wear that sort of in a day-to-day business.
There you go.
So, mysterious ladies of the court show up at your door. Why?
Apparently, fighting for my affection. I'm regretting my trips around Highgarden now.
Anything else?
I would not have told anyone if that happened to me, but I guess that's just me.
I like to think it would have
Nothing
gone
else.
a different way for me.
Nothing else has happened for me. So unless anyone else has caused any issues, I hope that's the worst of our issues. Other than the court now. I'm sorry for being late, Uncle.
Well, we need to decide who goes on the stand. I will be presenting the case as the main advocate / defendant, but we need someone on the witness stand.
As I was gonna say, depends on what judge you want to break down first, because I think aiming for the Dornish lady, Bree would be a better choice, but up against the...
No, she's going to be used against Lord Baratheon, if anything.
Really?
Yeah, because her stories involves horrible details about the dogs and how dogs are being treated.
No, sure.
So which judge are you going to have me try and intimidate, Jonas?
Lord Baratheon.
Okay.
Look at him. He's a scaredy cat, that one.
Oh, he looks so angry.
You only need to begin with that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah? And that's when it ends, when my character has something bad happen.
My hope is that you will find it incredibly cute.
I get myself at that age.
Exactly, it's like, oh, I remember. A firebrand with us, huh? The problem is, okay, so seducing, well, it would be incredibly awkward if Alaric tries to seduce any of Peak, Baratheon, or Hightower.
No, a guy likes a good compliment, but probably not Peak. Peak probably wouldn't.
But
like
the thing is with Peak, he doesn't like us anyway, so it doesn't matter in that case.
But I don't see why Baratheon wouldn't like.
It depends
they're not
also
really connected.
on which of these judges will go first. We don't know that.
That's true.
I don't know either, but considering my character's skills, I would probably want to try and taunt Peak into basically breaking his composure. Considering how awareness is my character's strongest characteristic. And if he's not actually up, then, I don't know, the crowd can force him up.
Get up there, Peak. And then you incite him, and then Nima...
Incite or taunt him, yes, begin to belittle him.
While you're doing the strategy, I will be right back.
Peak is the one that is most likely not gonna side with us at any... he's gonna be the most difficult one, clearly.
Yeah.
Baratheon, we can, with a bit of luck, hopefully, we can send him careening towards, hopefully, Peak, or even just, in our favor towards the House Will, because he, with the dog stuff and the way he works. I will try to, incite him into doing something like that.
Ultimately, I'm weaker at persuasion than I am at lying. I only have 2 dice on that.
Yeah. Hightower, he seems very formal. He can probably be reasoned with fairly well, I think. Lady Jordain, I don't know. I know very little about Lady Jordain, honestly.
The reason I suggested Lady Jordain with Bree is because she's one for the women should be treated the same as men, and the fact that that this Dornish house treated this girl with such disdain.
That's not going to win any favor. The women of that house were actually the ones who did worse than the men.
No. I think trying to incite Peak, or trying to get him to embarrass himself so much that he actually shuts up, might work. If all else fails when it comes to him, we certainly have the sign of the beer steel that we can flash for him. That would shut him up. The problem is that also, of course, states our intentions for everyone. Which is very dangerous. We would once again be lumped in together with the bitter steel people, so that would be a last resort. We
Back.
if Halldamir, you said that you would be fine with going first, I think we can try that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good one considering he started this.
You do have your what is it, anointed ability or whatever you can do.
Yeah, it raises my intrigue defense once.
Yeah. Once
by
for
5.
one roll or for one intrigue.
I believe it's for one roll. I'll double check on the word.
One round, maybe.
Yeah, I
it'd
think
be
it's
one
a
round.
round, but yeah.
Yeah, double check it.
Potentially 2 shots.
Well, that can be something that you could like just. It's a buffer.
Yeah, that's my idea.
As for the crowd stuff, yeah, I guess the rest of you will be somewhere in the crowd trying to do what exactly? I don't know, reading much.
Having me not go first allows me to observe judges, because that's something that my character is good at, and I can learn their dispositions, which grant bonus on actual test dice against them.
Okay, sounds good. Rhaenys could do the same, because he also has like a decent.
It's not my it's an okay awareness. It's I have 3 die.
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay.
be incredibly difficult to meet a 12, but you know.
There are
What
things. There are things I can do. I can, if there's any issues that come up with agitation, for example, I might be able to do some things there.
Hmm.
And there's a few things. Winning the crowd shouldn't be too difficult.
Hmm.
Lanus is quite persuasive. Apparently more persuasive than he would like after that situation.
So you have decided who you want to be your witness?
So Alaric will be the first one.
All right, sure. Yeah. To simplify, basically, and hurry things up a little bit, you will have a joint disposition towards the 4 judges. But basically, you and the witness will have the same one.
Okay.
I'll just sit on the small chair. They will, if need be, they can like.
Does Decim have like a table or anything he can lean against dramatically, or is he supposed to walk back and forth?
He's generally supposed to walk back and forth behind Sir Alaric, being all like a bad cop style. Which, I mean, that's the idea, but that's never what actually happens.
Sure.
You can position yourselves as a starting location in the crowd where you will. Yeah, you can pick where
We
you
already have.
stand. Yes, but Nima hasn't. Do you want to be in the crowd? If so, put yourself there.
Sure.
In
Well,
Anywhere in the
selected square.
If you see enemy agents, kill them.
You, after all, as it turns out, you, after all, have 2, 2 special abilities.
yeah, but where is best for me to be?
Anyway,
I don't know.
Wherever you like, it doesn't really matter because we have no idea where their people are.
I will just see if I can post those 2 for you so that you know what it is that you actually have to play with. That's a chair. That's not what I wanted to put down. It's a token chair even. Can I not like copy paste in here? Oh, I can. Oh, that's very long. That's very long. Let me just cut that down. I'll just call it an. Yep, short version. And then we'll have the other one as well, because you got both, as it turns out. Would you have dislike for all of the judges?
I think
Do we?
Baratheon would be probably indifferent, as well as Hightower, but he doesn't particularly like the Dornish or Peak.
All right.
Desmond would be probably indifferent to Baratheon Hightower and Jourdain, and Peak, I don't know, just malicious against him.
You basically will have to agree on what it is. And, yeah.
Okay, there's a convenient chart over here.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a nice chart of things.
I can agree with, like, indifferent with the 3 and unfriendly, or at a stretch, malicious to Peak.
Malicious is
That's a-
you want to kill them
Yes,
actively.
I
You
do.
actually pursue that.
Well, I don't actively pursue it, but I actively want to.
It says in the book, Sandor Clegane is malicious towards his brother Gregor.
You're going to have a -6 penalty then to do anything using persuasion against Peak.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I will be borderline useless. I don't think his intrigue defense will be that low.
Well, I mean, if Alaric is not malicious towards Decim, would probably be malicious towards him, because he's just really
It's
dislikes
also
him.
how do you act in court, in a way,
Uh,
towards these people.
well, indifferent to those 3, Peak could go with an unfriendly as an incredible stretch, and self-control. Maybe he could do dislike, but I mean, anything else than that would be just.
Yeah.
All right, unfriendly and indifferent, it sounds like. Good. Good. Are there any of those that start with the same letters? No, there isn't. So just to remember that, we'll just put like a little letter above them so that we easily can remember what you are at the moment. Right. Because it's very nice that there isn't any starting with the same letter. We'd have to write that out. All right, then. Everyone's gathered and in their squares and everything. So, yeah. I'll suppose I should. We should go to actually rolling some initiative here. Though first, let's have your entrance as everyone's lined up here.